that inflation could actually be quite low.
Some of it does appear to be transient or idiosyncratic. You need a bit of a reset.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is gonna be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in and Zillow just cannot save face. Zillow has once again, only this time they have done a massive flip-flop on their yearly equity growth projections. And what I'm wondering is at what point is Zillow actually going to have a negative number where they're forecasting equity growth? Now, obviously, it's really, really easy to forecast things when everything is going well. But when things get hard like they are right now, it seems as though that we cannot lean on anyone to help us get a correct idea for the trajectory of the housing market. It is absolutely crazy. So I hope you guys remember, once the dust finally settles, what Zillow actually did. Okay. And if you're a professional in the industry, realtor, loan officer, then you really know what Zillow did to our industry, how they took over, and actually how a lot of that forecasting kind of manipulated the housing market. It kind of added to the fear of missing out. I believe a lot of people based their emotional purchasing decisions based on Zillow forecasting. And remember, the beginning of this year, Zillow forecasted a year, and it was a different year over year, right? But Zillow forecasted year over year growth of 19%. So remember that. Again, I suspect at some point this year, Zillow will have no choice but to forecast negative equity growth. And I'm going to show you guys all of that stuff today. We're going to dig into an article from Zillow that's titled Zillow Home Value and Sales Forecast, August 2022. Now, you guys remember, I'm not your financial advisor, even if I want to be, even if you want me to be, I'm not. This is my personal YouTube channel, even though my bio is as a husband, father, renter, had a foreclosure, had a bankruptcy in 2008, made some horrible decisions, got back on my feet, have an 800 credit score, own a house, own a note, renting right now, waiting out the market. That's my bio. But the thing that I love to do the most, y'all, is empower people. I absolutely thrive on that. I'm not one of these guys that wants to take over the world, that wants to own 100 properties. I simply want balance in my life, and I thrive off of empowering people. And if you guys can, for my effort, for the work, please, you guys, like this video for your boy. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't, shoot me a comment below. You guys know I love hearing from you. I absolutely love you guys, my subscribers. You guys have helped sharpen my skills and comprehension in real estate in ways that I could have never imagined. So you guys actually empower me. So thank you. Let's get started on this article and on this video right now. So here's a couple bullet points from the article, and this is how it starts, y'all. And this is going to be linked in my description as always. So I suggest if you want to read this yourself and really study things, click the link in my description. But here's how it goes. Zillow's outlook for home prices has been revised down significantly due to a sharp downturn in July. Zillow forecasts 2.4%. Okay, so again, Zillow's forecasting now 2.4% home value growth through the end of July 2023. That is a massive downward adjustment, you guys. Now, obviously, their last adjustment was June to June, but obviously they're saying here a significant revision in their forecasting, essentially. The last bullet point is 5 million existing home sales are expected in 2022, according to Zillow's latest forecast, a 14.1% decrease from 2021. So this is a massive reduction of Zillow's forecasting. And you guys remember what I said at the beginning of the year, they were forecasting around 19%. Now they've reduced that to 2.4%. Now that is especially good news if you don't know the direction of the housing market. And let me explain why. Traditional equity growth is around 5% a year. So the way I see this 2.4% projection of Zillow is they are finally starting to understand that we are in a housing market that's not seasonal. We are in a housing market that is artificially created. It's not following normal fundamentals. There's a whole bunch of trillions of dollars that is a smoke screen, and is affecting some of the data. So I think what's happening here is there's so many people and companies, Redfin, Zillow, CoreLogic, Black Knight. There's so many companies that continue to get forecasting wrong. And I believe the reason that is they are forecasting as if we're in a housing market right now that is normal, that has normal fundamentals. And the thing is you can't do that. We're in an overinflated housing market. It was artificially created by trillions of dollars, and it's starting to fall apart. You have to look at things in perspective with logic and ask, how did we get here? What's different in this bubble versus 2008? What's similar? What do we think is really going to happen? I mean, you really have to take into consideration that we did form a bubble almost as large as 2008 in 2 years, right? In less than half the time as the last bubble. So we have to understand we're going to pay for that, right? There's going to be a reaction, right? There's going to be a reaction to that massive surge in equity growth. And that's really something that we have to understand, because it's there. That's not going away until there's a crash in prices, plus also the runaway inflation, 41-year high. That's not going away. These are things that are, these are anchor points on the problems that we face right now. And those problems need specific solutions. Those solutions, in my opinion, are going to crash the housing market, or rather negative equity growth spreading throughout the nation. But regardless, let's get back to this article and let's finish it out right now. Zillow's home value forecast expects a significant slowdown in annual home value growth as measured by the raw Zillow home value index, from the current rate of 16% to 2.4%, massive change for the 12 months ending July 2023. This is a significant update from last month's forecast of 6.9% appreciation through June. So I understand it's a different year-over-year period, right? One was comparing June to June. Now it's comparing July to July. But regardless, they've reduced that 6.9 to under the usual typical average of 5%. They're under that now to 2.4. I believe, again, sometime this year, we're going to see a negative sign here because they have no choice. I mean, they got to save face, right? I mean, they got to save face, don't they? Anyways, this continues. The large revision is driven by the quickly changing observed market conditions and an update to the forecast methodology. The nation's median home value fell. Okay, so we have now Zillow finally acknowledging fell. Home value. This is not prices. This is median home value, right? They're not saying prices. This is value. This is different. This is big. This is heavy. Fell 0.1% in July from June. The first monthly downtick since 2012. Massive, right, guys? Isn't that amazing? So again, I mean, come on. I mean, we don't have to argue anymore. We know what direction this market's headed, right? Right? Anyways, let's finish. And has seen monthly growth decelerate from a recent peak of 1.9% in April. What's more, Zillow's home value forecast now incorporates the share of for-sale listings that receive a price cut into its calculation. That's crazy. They weren't considering that before. Talk about bullish. This share has seen a sharp increase in recent months as home sellers adjust their strategies amid changing market conditions. A weaker outlook for home sales also factors heavily into the lower forecast for home value appreciation. Thank you, Zillow, for taking a little bit of accountability right there. And I'm sure you've messed up hundreds of thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people that bought into your forecasting. Now we're saying that they are not right. And I'm going to bring up a chart to show you guys that further. The forecast for 5.3 million existing home sales in calendar year 2022, which will reflect a 14.1% decrease from 2021, also reflects recent market changes and continued weakness in leading indicators of the metric. Sales dropped faster than anticipated in June, while July saw weaker than expected home sales and mortgage application. Recent economic data sent signals for the economic outlook, which also factors into these forecasts. On the upside, the labor market posted stronger than expected job growth with a falling unemployment rate in July. Meanwhile, inflation as measured by the CPI decelerated in July, which will influence the Federal Reserve policy decisions in the months to come. Mortgage rates for prime borrowers remain elevated compared to last year's, but have recently leveled off. As I'm reading this, the rates are back up. The 10-year Treasury is at 3%. So as I'm reading this, that's actually flipped as expected. And I think when Fred comes out on Thursday, we're going to see actually moderate increase instead of a slight increase. On the downside, real GDP fell by 0.9% in annualized rate in Q2. The second conservative decline this year, driven by contractions in consumer spending and corporate investing. So I would like to welcome Zillow to the club of reality. They have finally acknowledged the month-over-month price decline. So Realtor.com, hopefully you're next. So now finally Redfin. Now here's the crazy thing. Put this in perspective. Redfin is well ahead of Zillow. Redfin is already forecasting that prices have dropped from peak in June 5.5%. The value, y'all, in week over week data comparisons and month over month data comparisons, because you can see Zillow is lagging. They're only accounting for 0.9%. But again, thank God they're finally starting to say that, right? And that's why, again, I'm using multiple data source providers: Black Knight, CoreLogic, Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.com. And I believe all of that data is tainted. So we kind of need to look at it logically, and we have to put it in perspective and understand that. Now, what I really want to do is really just to add to, how bad a situation we're in. I'm going to once again pull up the Fred chart for new home sales. Okay, so the pricing for new home sales. I want to show you guys how much prices have really dropped on new homes. Look at this. Okay, so here's the median sales price for new houses sold in the United States. So this is only new houses. And you can see here, let me go down. This is a year comparison right here. You can see it peaked. New home sales actually peaked in April. And look at how much it's plummeted since then. It's down over 13% since April peak. And we don't even have July numbers. When July numbers come out, I believe that we are going to have our first, okay, because some people are stuck on year over year comparisons. And if you look here, I really think that July is going to give us our first year over year price decline for new home sales, because if you look at the year over year, it's almost there. So if we get under 406, because July 2021 was 406, if this number stays the same or continues the downward trend, next month, we're going to have our first year over year decline for median sales price on new homes. You guys, that is so big, because it removes the narrative that all you need to look at is year over year data, right? It essentially points out and paints the picture that we need to be paying attention to what is going on right now. We need to be reviewing actual live data, week over week comparisons, YTD, and month over month comparisons, or we're going to be swept away like Zillow and Redfin. Right? Zillow and Redfin, and so many people keep getting this wrong because they are forecasting and saying things based on a normal seasonal market. That's not what we're in right now. And that's what I am so frustrated. I keep trying to tell people, like, this isn't normal. The last 2 years are anything but normal in our housing market. And that's not hard to understand, right? But either way, you guys, I want to end this video on saying this. All cylinders are now firing, okay, as far as the housing market crashing. Now, it is vital. It is absolutely vital that you understand that the crashing and cooling and correcting housing market is going to hit certain metro areas faster than others. So be patient. I'm saying that it's going to spread to essentially every single metro area, but not everyone is as lucky as I am. I'm in Houston. I see so many changes in our housing market. It is head spinning. It's almost breathtaking how many changes I'm seeing, but not everyone is seeing that. People in Florida, people in Cali, there's people in the East Coast. They don't see that yet. So that's why I'm saying, look to the nation. That's why I'm showing you guys Fred data. Fred data is a national average. So we know on a national average, the market's changing, right? Again, it has not spread to every single metro area. So be patient, right? Continue to monitor your local market, improve your credit, improve your income, save more money, and become a winner on the other side of this. Double down on your preparation. Now, other than that, you guys, I really appreciate you watching this video. I hope you guys got value. And if you're out there investing in real estate, I do wish you luck, and I hope you win.